our final topic of the day, my second penny of the day. Square Enix enacts employee protection policy to combat customer harassment. Square Enix announced a new policy this past Friday at the issue of harassment at the hands of disgruntled customers. Square Enix lists what specifically constitutes as harassment as well as undue demand. Harassment, acts of violence, violent behavior, abusive language, intimidation, coercion, duress. There's a lot of things here.
A lot of stuff.
2pennygamesnews.substack.com to see that. Undue demand, unreasonable changes of exchange of product or request for monetary compensation, unreasonable response or request for an apology, including face-to-face response or request for an apology specifying the position of our employee or partners, excessive requests for the provision of products and services exceeding socially accepted norms, unreasonable and excessive demands for punishment of our employees. Square Enix justifies the policy, writing, quote, such actions do not only prevent our employee and partners from engaging in their work with a sense of security, but also causes disruptions to other customers. Square Enix will not tolerate harassment and will take action as necessary. Square Enix clarifies that harmful actions and socially unacceptable behavior can serve as grounds to deny products and services if an individual is found to engage in such conduct. Additionally, they define actions that are, quote, egregious or with malicious intent, that the company reserves its right to take severe legal action. Instances of customer harassment can be found in the industry, such as in July of 2024, where Sega successfully sued an unnamed person for, quote, excessive, slanderous, and insulting social media comments directed at an employee. A more famous incident of harassment occurred in 2020, where The Last of Us Part 2 voice actress Laura Bailey received death threats over her performance of the controversial character Abby, taking to X, at the time Twitter, to share the vile messages. Yeah. Okay. You brought up that the Laura Bailey statement. She had a bad run there because she also got shit for Call of Duty Vanguard and Marvel's Avengers and just a couple of things. So she was on a good run in terms of like the acting.
Oh, okay.
And the roles she was getting. I mean, Abby, Black Widow, lead in a Call of Duty game. Like, it just like kept going and is continuing to go because she's still getting great work. Laura Bailey, my favorite in the industry right now. But I do remember a lot of those stories going. And as far as Square Enix goes, so most of this just comes down to they're willing to take legal action against harassers?
Yes. So if it's like particularly severe stuff, like, hey, they're threatening somebody.
Yeah.
Then at that point, it's, they're really going to take legal action to sue them. Kind of how Sega did it, recently. Otherwise, it's more about denying services. Because the interesting thing about this
is
it's not just... You have the right to preserve. Companies have the right to deny services if they see fit. And so if they're constantly getting unreasonable demands for, hey, you deserve to return this product, and they keep having to engage with all of these customer support complaints, it takes away from other, doing work from other
on customer service
issues.
side. Okay, in my head I was like, how are you going to stop me from buying your video games?
Yeah, that was the interesting thing. That was the interesting part about all of this is it's not specifically saying, are people who make the games. It's from top to bottom, everybody who works in the company, from those developers, the voice actors and actresses, to people who deal with the mundanity of dealing with customers having issues with your product and whatnot. It's pretty comprehensive, which is good because especially when people can become a lot more aggressive, to say the least, nowadays online. It's good to kind of put forward some guidelines of, hey, you can say disparaging comments, even overly critical comments, but keep it within the confines of what we socially acceptable.
You got the right to free speech, but you also got the right to get these hands, motherfucker.
Legally
in a court of law.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm kind of into all of this. Like, all of this sounds good to me. Square Enix has a right to protect its employees, protect its people, and I believe has the right to chase after people who are actively doing their company or their employees harm. Makes no problem with me. Of course, what is the like extent of that quote unquote power? I then would turn it over to the court system and hope that the court system just, of course, makes the right choice. And judges throw out cases all the time. But I think for anything to hit the radar of a company the size of Square Enix, like, you got to be doing some nasty stuff online to be doing all that, right? So you're looking at death threats, you're looking at a bunch of racist remarks, you're looking at just consistent I'm chasing this guy down to do as evil things as I can to this person because somebody at the top made a decision that I don't like, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, big ups to you, Square Enix. Protect your people. I'm into that.
Mm-hmm.